It's your boy Carino here. Gonna try to run down as many questions as I can because the box was filling up. So let me just jump right into it. First question is what I'm getting the most is what do we need to do to fix the boxing judges because it's been corrupt. Paul Williams was robbed. The worst robbery I've ever seen was Laura versus Paul Williams. How in the world are these judges seem to be getting worse and not better? What can we do, Carino? Well, the thing is, we have to put pressure on the commissions. Whatever state that had those fights in the commissions, the people have to complain to them. If they don't see the people complaining in the right fact of channeling their anger in the right direction, people gonna yell and complain at the screen or at the fight. Then 2 days later, they're talking about something else. They totally forgotten about it. You know, all these robberies going on. People forgot about Fernando Beltran getting robbed against with Burns overseas. So it's not gonna change, unfortunately. There's always gonna be bad judges. There's always gonna be judges that's gonna take kickbacks from other places. It's gonna happen. It's just the nature of the business, and you just hope and pray that you're at a point to where you're on the A side of that, to where it doesn't matter, or you can dictate the outcome. I mean, because this thing goes all the way down the line. It's not just judges. There's referees that's involved. There's announcers that are involved. It's a lot of different angles that people don't even realize. Promoters and boxers and promoter, boxer, manager. Why can't promoters be managers too? Is Al Heyman a promoter or a manager? He does a lot of different things and he has a lot of different hats. Is that breaking the rules, or what are the rules? Al Heyman is licensed as a manager, though he operates more like a hybrid, an advisor, which is a new thing in boxing. You just have an advisor. That's what they're listed as, even though he's licensed as a manager. But he can also do the same functionality as a promoter. That's why he just calls himself an advisor, which puts him in like a gray area that's, his ways around the Muhammad Ali Boxing Reform Act. And for those who don't know what that act is, I'm going to put the Muhammad Ali Boxing Reform Act in the description box. So down below, you're going to have the Muhammad Ali the Boxing Reform Act, the one that Pat English drew up. And it passed in the year 2000 after years and years of fighting to get this act passed. And the problem being, and I'm only using Don King as a reference, not he was the only one that did it, but Carl King, who was his son, was managing Don King's fighters while Don King was the promoter. And this created a conflict of interest because he's got to pay the manager, and then it's like King was still getting the kickbacks. The manager was playing ball with the promoter. That was his son. So whatever the promoter said was going to go. And the manager was there to make sure he got kickbacks too. So it was like the fighter was paying double the money to the promoter, basically. And his best interests were not being thought of or looked at. And the difference between the two is a manager is for the individual boxer, not the card. That's not his concern. The promoter job is they're there to take most of the risk financially for the event. They rent the ring, they pay the insurance, they make their money when they pay one fighter less and they make more. But they also take losses on events that people don't seem to understand. At some events they take losses on, but that's a necessary loss for a bigger event that happened down the road where they're going to make up all their money back. So it's a lot of things that go on there, but a manager and promoter are supposed to work together as like a counterbalance between the two. And the Muhammad Ali Boxing Reform Act is kind of like separates and puts a clear separation between the two to make it legal, and make it illegal to do certain things. But as you can see, people like Heyman have made his way around that. Similar to Bob Arum and Manny Pacquiao's manager, Michael Kantz. You think Kantz is gonna step up to Arum and put Arum in his place? It's never gonna happen. Or he'll be back homeless. All right, let's move on to the next questions. Tim Bradley versus Floyd Mayweather. Can it happen? Will it happen? That's the fight the public want to see. He's undefeated, and I think, okay, yeah, well, yes, it should happen. I've been lobbying for this fight for a while because I feel that Tim Bradley deserves the shot. Can he beat Floyd Mayweather? I don't believe he can. But I believe it's a challenge for Floyd Mayweather. I believe this guy's coming to fight. I believe this guy go out on his back flat before he give up. And he's not as limited as a lot of these other fighters. He can do different things. He's never faced anyone on the skills of Mayweather, but he hasn't lost. So that to me, that's appealing. That's an appealing fight to me, and the public can demand it. It could happen. I don't think. And from talking to Bob Arum, Arum said that he has no problem with making Tim Bradley and Floyd Mayweather. If that's the fight that Bradley wants Arum to go after and really pursue, he will do it. Tell him the terms, and then they'll make the fight happen. It's as simple as that. That's what he said. So I'm going to go by only what he said. Now, will it happen? I highly doubt it because of the relationship of Bradley and Top Rank versus Golden Boy and Mayweather Promotions. But, it is what it is. What's up? You talking about Victor Ortiz? Is Floyd fighting Victor Ortiz? Because he shouldn't. Victor Ortiz has done nothing. What in the world is he doing anywhere near a fight with Floyd Mayweather? Hey, I understand your plight. I understand your concern. Victor Ortiz, you got to understand this is a business, and Floyd Mayweather is in the business of making money. He not only has to fight a competitive fight, credible fight, he also has to have a credible fight in which is going to generate money. He's not in the boat with all these other fighters. I keep trying to tell people that, and I got to explain to people over and over again. It's the same way with Oscar De La Hoya. But no one had a problem when Oscar De La Hoya wasn't in this boat. And he was fighting once a year. And he was picking opponents that had to make money, that was appealing fights. He wasn't trying to fight anybody in his division and all that craziness. And I hear that craziness too. He never cleaned out a division. What's cleaned out a division? There's people that just got in the division. They just moved up in weight. So how you going to clean out the division? Here comes somebody else from another division. They fight 2 fights. Next thing you know, they're the man. It's like, come on. Tim Bradley ain't even from this division. The majority of his division from there. So what is he supposed to do? What welterweight is he supposed to fight? It's just a no way you can win situation unless you lose. You lose, you the greatest fighter of all times. That's all they waiting on. If Floyd lose, yeah, he'll be great. they got to bring up an opponent from like the 1990s. Castillo. I'm like, that fight is like over 15 years ago. You lost to Castillo. You know, it's just madness. But if he fights Ortiz again, you know, I expect him to next year. Because they have the storyline. The fight didn't go the way it's supposed to have went. He got sucker punched. So they got the story that they could sell it again. And if you can still sell it, why not? I mean, this thing is a business, man. Okay, next question. Do you think Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather will ever fight? Maybe. Maybe in 2015. I don't see them fighting next year. It all depends on what Manny Pacquiao looks like. One more loss, Manny's done. So, if he loses to Brandon Rios, forget about a Floyd Mayweather fight. You know, I would, if I was him, I would forget about fighting all the way around the board. And from what I've been told, Manny hasn't looked that sharp. Though it was early, and he didn't do much, it wasn't the same Manny. And of course, that was just just warm up. That's when like the actual start of camp. But from what the people saw, it just wasn't Manny. So nobody's implying anything. It just wasn't Manny. Okay, let me see. One of the most talented fighters that I thought right now would be one of the most dominant fighters in boxing is Gary Russell Jr. Why is Al Heyman protecting him so much and won't let him fight for a world title? Is he really all hype? Or is he good? Let us know, Carino. Don't be biased and take up for him because he's the black guy. I mean, does HBO got him signed to a long-term contract, or did he have to move to Showtime? I don't know about Gary Russell Jr. having an HBO contract ever. I think he is free to work with any network. He's represented by Al Heyman, so I believe his fights will be on Showtime. Yes, he is talented. He's very talented, but he's injury prone. And the thing about him is he has problems with management. He has his father as his manager, and as far as getting him fights, I don't think they have the right mentality of taking fights. I've heard he's turned down fights that he really should have taken, but he wants to take an easier road to develop, to make sure he's 100% when he fights. He's really reserved when it comes to fighting. Like, he wants everything to be perfect with himself. If he's 80%, he's not going to go into a fight at 80%. He wants to be 100%. If he's 80, he'll fight an easy fight, make a little bit of money just so he can be 100% for the title fight. And he has no reservations about, you know, backlash from it. You know, he actually turned down a title shot because he didn't feel he was ready for it at the time. So, I mean, it is what it is. So we move on, and that's that. It's time you bring back Carino Uncut series. I love those series, man. Why'd you stop doing them? I stopped doing Carino Uncut based on the fact that it was too much time consuming. You know, y'all don't know, it takes a lot. I used a lot of videos back then before I started moving to just still pictures, because it took so much time to edit, and getting everything set up, and then YouTube want to flag certain things because they don't like it. So, you know, it becomes a big mess. In the end, it becomes a really big mess, and it's time consuming, and I do other things. Though you see me putting up YouTube videos every now and then, and I really just do that to keep y'all in the loop of what's going on. But I do so many other things now, like in the boxing world on the low. And I'm going to tell you the truth. A lot of these boxing fights that you see getting made, most of them are being helped to be made by yours truly. And that's all I can really say. Because, you know, we're not allowed to discuss a lot of what we do, you know, for legal reasons. But never do I come over here and use that and put it in my videos because I might be putting something together on a fight wise and then come over here and try to hype it or promote it because I'm a part of it. No, I don't do that. I give you the truth and I tell you this is how I feel about this fighter, that fighter, and all the way down the board. So I don't even mention majority of the fights that I helped orchestrate. Now your next question is there payment in it? Well, I'm going to tell you like this. I don't work for free. So you better believe there's going to be some type of compensation. Alright, next question. Guillermo Rigondeaux is one of the most underrated fighters in boxing history. If you go back and look at old tapes of Floyd Mayweather, he fought just like how Rigondeaux fought. And Rigondeaux's actually more seasoned than when Mayweather was. He's very patient. He's waiting for the perfect shots, and he's not getting hit. Isn't that what boxing is about, Carino? Hit and not get hit. Don't be a hypocrite. Give Rigondeaux his respect. Where am I disrespecting Rigondeaux at? Did I make a video of making an apology to Rigondeaux? I mean, I thought I did that. But because I don't say what you want me to say about Rigondeaux, you don't like it personally. I mean, do you want to write what you want me to say about Rigondeaux? Is that what it is? So that's what y'all do. Go write it down and then say it and then be like, okay, this is what we want Carino to say. When the truth is, I don't care. I never said Daniel won that fight. But the fight was a lot closer than a lot of you idiots care to even mention. And on top of that, Rigondeaux has to fight somebody. And he is. He's fighting Joseph Berto, since y'all want it that way. Joseph Berto and him will mix it up. And I think that's an excellent fight. Berto's moving up in weight will be a lot better for him. I feel he'll be a lot stronger. And he can fight on the inside and on the outside. Now, Rigondeaux has a lot of more movement and not taking punches as much as Berto, but I would love to see that fight. And I'm very entertained in the fact that it's going to happen on December the 7th. I think they might move it from Jersey. No one really knows yet as far as the venue. I heard the venue is not a complete lock, but the fight is a lock. I don't care if they fought in my backyard. That's a fight I would like to see. And that's all we want to see here. Like with Andre Ward. You know, Dimitri Sardasin, was that a fight that we would have cared about? No. And as boxing fans, I fought for y'all. Because I'm a boxing fan too. And I said, look, we want to see him fight the guy that's knocking people out. Edwin Rodriguez is undefeated. He worked his way up to number 1. Give him the shot on HBO. You know, that makes sense. And it did. And it made sense for everybody. And now the fight's going to happen. And that's done. I'm very happy with that. Now let's move on. Andre Berto, do you think he should fight at 147 or move up to 154? In my opinion, Andre Berto will go up to 154 pounds. I don't think he'll make 147. I think he would use that as part of his excuse as to why he's been getting knocked out and getting dropped lately. You know, Berto's a great human being. He's a good boxer. He had a good amateur career. Andre Berto's problem is he's gotten confused. With his first loss, he's gotten completely confused as his identity of what Andre Berto is to do. As far as having a game plan, implementing the game plan, and running it to perfection. Berto is lost. And his ability to take a punch has limited him, and then when he gets hurt, he panics. Then it takes him a time to settle down and get himself back into the fight. And in all of these fights, he seemed to get hurt early in the fight. First round, second round. To the point where his identity is just completely shattered and he might not make it back. His confidence is gone. So well, I think I got all your questions. I know this video is going to be pretty long, so, you know, bear with me. I'm trying to get all your questions in as much as possible. Carino, when are you coming to a fight here in Vegas? I want to kick it with you, drink some beers, and talk boxing and pick your brain. I remember when Ali fought Norton. And what did you think of Ken Norton as a boxer? I saw only a few of Ken Norton fights. I saw only a couple of fights of him, like when he was fighting the Alis and all of those names back then. The ones he was the guy that got close with no cigar type of deal. You know, it's just like he was so close to doing everything. The fight would be going his way, then he just somehow lose it. You know, it reminds me of Michael Dokes. And whoever that is can call me back later. Yeah, but he reminds me of Michael Dokes a little bit. You know, Dokes is great. Dokes will get all the way there and look good and then lose it. Okay, let me see. What other instruments you have that you guys want to ask me? You know, most of these are just statements. That's why I pause a lot, because the majority of the things you guys ask me are not even questions. They're just like almost like what ifs or what do I think. I think I've answered this one before, so I don't want to do that again on the videos. Yes, a lot. I'm glad this person asked this question. Boxing Socialist, thank you. That is the website, BoxingSocialist.com. But Boxing Socialist, this guy just said, is Boxing Socialist have a YouTube page? Yes, it does. There is a Boxing Socialist YouTube page. If you go there, you will see live training. You'll see interviews with other boxers. Why is everybody calling me? Hello? Hello? Yes. Can I call you back?
Are you busy?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Yeah, was that you that just called like 2 minutes ago?
No, this is my first time calling you.
Okay. I'll call you right back when I'm done.
Bye.
All right, goodbye. All righty. Sorry about that. Ladies love me. I don't know. Now, let's move forward. Where were we? Boxing Socialist website. And the YouTube page. And everything you're going to see on that YouTube page. I just got off the phone with you. Why would you text me? I just said I'll call you back in a few minutes. You see this? Now, like I was saying, you get all those interviews. You get everything I just talked about before I was interrupted. All of the footage that you've seen in training camps, behind the scenes information you will get in the chat room when I talk to the fans. They get to hear stuff that you guys never get to hear on YouTube, because that would just be a S-storm of information. And by the time y'all hear it, we already knew it. Like, they knew about the Victor Ortiz coming back on the undercard of the pay-per-view, because they know next year Victor Ortiz is going to be fighting either Canelo or Floyd. Guaranteed. He signed with Al Heyman. He's going to be in the movie The Expendable 3. If you was in the chat room, you knew all of this a month ago. And that's why we have the best website format alive. Because we actually communicate back with the fans. No other website does that we know of. You know. Somebody don't say Max Boxing. Sure, dude. If I see you at the thing, I will go ahead and hang out. I might have a beer, and then I'll keep it moving. You know, I can't just sit in one spot and conversate with the fans. And a lot of the times, the reason I don't go to the fights is because, you know, I have jobs to do. I can't just up and leave. If I've got things pending that I have to do, I got to be around. You know, I got to work on this computer. So a lot of the times you see me here, I'm basically with a computer tied to my hips. But when I'm not, 9 times out of 10, my vice is going to the movies. As you've seen, I've done a lot of movie reviews. So I enjoy going to the movies. I go to the movies more than the average human being. I get secret passes, those special passes, to see advanced screenings, because I take the time to do the surveys and tell them what I think of the movies, and they appreciate that. So it isn't like because I am the ultimate celebrity Carino. Carino, what do you think of Miley Cyrus twerk? THOT. I don't know any of these hashtags. Why would you hashtag a message in YouTube? What? I mean, I don't even understand the hashtag game at all. I mean, not to that extent. I don't care about Miley Cyrus. She has nothing to do with boxing that I know of. So, there you have it. Here's another question. Tell Kalisha West to shut up and worry about herself, and don't worry about what Floyd Mayweather does with his money. Why come every girl thinks that Floyd Mayweather owes them some money? Get out and earn your own money for a change. Stop worrying about what Floyd Mayweather does. Why don't you check her, Carino? Here's why I don't check her. Is because she's stating her opinion. Okay, she's not basing her opinion off of, okay, this is just me trying to bash or slander Floyd. It's not. She said you made your money, and the point of it was you would throw $50,000 on a stripper, but why not do something that could benefit your company and put on women boxing? That could fund a whole card. It's not to say like he can't go out and do that, but I'm like, you got $40 million and you throwing $50,000 away on a stripper. You know, it just made more sense to put on a woman's boxing card. You know, do something and give something back towards women boxing. She's just making a statement on how she feels. She's a woman boxer. She's a female champion. You know, and all the things she had to go through. You know, she's not just blaming Floyd Mayweather or coming directly at Floyd Mayweather like it's his fault, it's up to him. You know, no, he's just the biggest face in the sport of boxing. And by that, he's the promotional company, Mayweather Promotions. He just got the big reward of being the highest paid athlete in sports, and he is the promoter. So yes, you want to come at him and put your name attached to that so that women boxing would get out there. So I think the message got twisted and confused a little bit, and people just don't get it. But I understand it because I've actually worked with trying to get women fights. You know, I've actually tried to get a couple of female friends that I have who box fights. And it's a very difficult situation because there's no money in it, really. It's hard to say, come on out here, get in this boxing fight, and then all the money that you make is made by your travel, hotel, accommodations. By the time all of that's done, you have no money. This is the only place and the only business I know where basically if you're not the champion and you're the one trying to make the fight, you're the one that's going to end up with no money. The person that's trying to put the fight together and trying to go out and get an opponent, they're basically paying the opponent, and the opponent keeps their money, but the champion is just paying for the whole card out of their own pockets. It's really that way. They're paying to have the opponent show up so they can fight him, beat him, and get the win on their record, and they leave with no money. It's a terrible, terrible structured business. And it's not respected by a lot of promoters, and it should be. These girls risk their lives just like the men. They fight hard. It's not as bad as people make it out to be because they saw some women box on a very mediocre scale, and because they're sleeping with a promoter or a manager, they get thrown on a card, and then you see it on ESPN, and it's like, what is this? These girls barely know how to fight. But the girls who can box, who dedicate themselves to doing this, trust me, it looks entirely different. And if you don't believe me, you can just go on YouTube and watch some of their fights. And I know this is a long, long video, but this is one that's worth it. What do you think about Mike Tyson's one-man show, and should Mike Tyson come back for one more big fight and then call it a career? Mike Tyson don't have to fight no more. He don't. His name is, even though he sold his name, he gets a percentage off of it, but Mike is getting paid off his celebrity. He's one of the biggest, most celebrated athletes in the world, next to Muhammad Ali. I mean, anywhere in the world, they know who Mike Tyson is. They know who he is in Japan. They know who he is in China. They know who he is in New Zealand. I mean, Mike Tyson is world known. Here's a guy from Brownsville, New York, is known throughout the world, have sat down with prime ministers all around this world, and he was a boxer. He was somebody they looked at as foul, didn't like him, personality, and everything, but yet and still, he's the most talked about, he's the most celebrated athlete next to Muhammad Ali. And that's Mike Tyson. Has Floyd Mayweather's status reached Mike Tyson's? Not yet. Not yet. Now, Mike Tyson's show, I think it's going to do well. It's going to do as well as Mike, does it. People are interested in Mike Tyson. They're going to want to come see him. They're going to want to autograph. They're going to want to touch him. They're going to want to say, how you doing? Mike is just, they remember him knocking people out. Unfortunately, for some people, they think that's the way the sport is supposed to be. Just all knockouts. Next question. I'm going to get them all in, y'all. I'm really going all out this time, so we're going to get it. We're on page 3, so we're doing really good. That's because y'all sent a lot of good questions, and I appreciate it. So I'm going to go ahead and put this up. Saul Canelo Alvarez, dude. Okay, yeah, this guy just asked basically, what do I think about what did I think about what's his name? Saul Canelo Alvarez coming back and regaining the stature he had before he lost. Like, will he come back and get that same hype again? Or is everything going to die down for him? Canelo, believe you me, he hasn't lost anything. I mean, he did the right thing. I mean, he didn't look as bad as people try to make it out to be. He fought a solid fight. I mean, he just was in there with Floyd Mayweather. Against another 154 fighter, things will go a different way. So, it's hard to tell. But I think he's solid enough where he can fight and know how to dictate it and get through a fight, and he'll have a good career. And I think a fight with him and Victor Ortiz would be a barn burner next year. At 154, ooh. And then they get to fight for the title. That would be amazing. At least I think. Now, we also been told that, I might as well tell y'all. I don't even care. Look, they said if Laura wins, Laura will get a shot at Canelo next year in April. Now, do I believe that? No. But they said the WBC is going to make it mandatory that his next fight will be against Laura, and it's going to be on Showtime in April if Laura is to beat Austin Trout. Now, if Austin Trout wins and beats Laura, then Canelo will be facing, if Victor Ortiz is successful, we should definitely put that out there. Victor Ortiz will be facing Canelo in a pay-per-view. If Floyd Mayweather chooses to relinquish the 154 WBC title and go back down to 147 and face and defend his title at 147 against Danny Garcia. So many angles depending on who wins and who loses. So that's why everybody has to wait. Amir Khan just wants to sit on the bench, fight some stiff to stay active, and make himself ready for Mayweather. So I don't understand what Amir Khan's doing. I mean, he's like Sideshow Bob or something. Let him sit on the side anyway. We don't need him. And for everybody that's posting videos on YouTube, boxing videos, you can throw your YouTube videos on Boxing Socialist so they can get hits too. It counts towards your YouTube, so why not get extra hits on your videos? It's all up to you. I'm out, and we'll do this some other time. I enjoy talking to y'all, but I obviously has to get back to making some more fights for you. And I enjoy doing it. Deuced.